booming 1930s in Britain. In the 1920s, the British economy struggled to recover from the First World War. And in 1929, the Great Depression hit, and unemployment peaked around 3 million. And in some areas, unemployment reached around 70%, especially in the heavily industrialised areas in the north and in Wales. Between 1929 and 1931, industrial output dropped by 20% in Britain. However, in 1931, Britain did go off the gold standard, and this was because of fears of a mutiny in the Royal Navy's Atlantic Fleet. And this led to a run on the banks, and this meant that Britain had to go off the gold standard, basically. However, this did help Britain in some ways. It made their exports cheaper, made it easier with interest rates, and they could impact de-inflationary measures, which was a benefit for Britain. And this meant that war loans, for example, went from 5% down to 3.5%, saving the Treasury 72 million per year. By 1935, British industrial levels were around 135% more than they were in 1929, and this was an impact of the gold going off the gold standard, but also the introduction of the national grid effectively, which halved energy prices, making it cheaper to produce goods. And also you have a consumer boom in the 1930s, and this helps Britain. Between 1932 and 1938, the British economy grew on average 3.6% per year, and this was driven by rearmament in the mid to late 1930s, new industries such as aviation, electronic equipment, and also cars. And then you've also got massive house buildings schemes going on, and slum clearances going on in London, in cities up north, and even in small towns such as Hastings. If you enjoyed this video, please follow and drop a comment down below. I'd really appreciate it. Let's get back to the video. At the start of the Great Depression, it was very hard to get help, even though in 1911 the Liberal government under Asquith introduced a national employment and health insurance scheme, which meant that you would get paid up to 15 weeks up to unemployment. But an issue with this was that you didn't get it on your needs, you got it depending on how much you'd put in, and not everyone was covered by this. Then after these 15 weeks were over, you depended on poor relief, which was governed by your local authority. However, in 1931, there was a fully funded benefit scheme introduced by the government.